From Hollywood, time once again for Money TV. I'm Don Baillargeon. Thanks for joining us. Money TV is the program all about money and what makes it happen. Well, we're closing in on the 2018 Winter Olympics in South Korea, and the massive event, which is going to be a primary focus for the rest of the world for a couple of weeks, is not without its share of drama. Now, Olympics, they're big business. A study by the Hyundai Research Institute has said hosting the 2018 Games is going to inject 65 trillion won, or $61 billion, into Asia's fourth largest economy through investment, spending, and spin-off consumption. Visa estimates the event's going to draw up to 10% more foreign tourists, and visitors could spend up to 50% more on their Visa cards than regular visitors do. Now, no matter how you add that up, that's a big piece of change. Now, lately, when the subject of Korea has come up, it's usually been about North Korea and their maniacal man-child dictator Kim Jong-un. Constant threats about nuclear launches will do that for you. According to CNN, however, last week there was a diplomatic breakthrough as North Korea called South Korea, a hotline which has been dormant for more than 2 years, and the two countries held high-level discussions, with the North agreeing to send a delegation to the Olympics. Fostering good fellowship between the countries of the world is truly what the Olympics embody. But according to the BBC, economic struggles in the North are really what represents the driving force for North Korea to buddy up to the South. Exports of goods such as textiles, coal, and seafood are the biggest contributors to North Korea's GDP, and they may be down as much as 30%. Exports to China, North Korea's biggest trading partner, they could be down as much as 35%. Now, when a third of your economy is wiped out, you kind of notice it. You would also notice your neighbor to the south literally shining on the world stage. Now, it remains to be seen if Kim Jong-un is going to try to crash or usurp South Korea's Olympic party, but given his penchant for trying to get attention and headlines, nothing he might do would surprise me. Now, here's something that's no surprise. Our toll-free number, good from anywhere in the world you're watching the program, 888-259-4449. To get free information from our regular guests on the program, call us toll-free from anywhere in the world, 888-259-4449. When you do call, be sure and ask to be added to the subscription list of our Money TV newsletter. It is free, as is the call. Again, 888-259-4449 from anywhere in the world. Make sure and visit us at MoneyTV.net. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. My first guest is joining me in studio, Mr. Matt Chipman. Matt is acting as a spokesman for EPAZ Incorporated. Their stock symbol is EPAZ. Matt, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Don. I appreciate being here.
Now, of course, you've been on the program many times, as an analyst, and you're acting as a spokesman for EPAZ. Now, we've discussed the company's ZenaPay payment solutions on the program before. Why don't you bring us up to speed on ZenaPay?
Be happy to. The company formally issued a press release just this past Wednesday, January 17th, that its ZenaPay Bitcoin wallet app has been already downloaded 10,000 times on the Android Play Store. It's viewed as a significant achievement, especially in the fact that it was just released at the last day of the year last year. So in just a few short weeks, the company already had 10,000 downloads. What they are doing is they're examining the data to determine and better understand the acquisition cost of those downloads and how to plan its next marketing campaign. Let me add that it was also announced that the second version of the ZenaPay Bitcoin wallet will be released, and it's going to formally come out on February 10th. And that's going to include additional features and that it's excited to unveil.
So that's an upgrade to the current one that's currently
available. It'll be an upgrade to the current one, yes.
Okay. Now, what's really interesting is that merchants who are accepting credit cards, they can pay up to 3% processing charges, which can be horrifically expensive, but ZenaPay says they can dramatically reduce that. What can you tell us about that?
Well, the transactions, when they occur, this would be like a point-of-sale transaction, similar to like, you might see with Apple Pay. When you go in, everyone understands like Starbucks, accepts the Apple Pay, bang, it hits your credit card. The credit card charges typically add up to the merchant to be about 3% or a little bit less. ZenaPay is only 1%.
Wow.
So that significant reduction because of the guaranteed payment platform that it has, and that both merchant and the buyer accept payment right on the spot. There is no going back on the transaction once you make it, but it is just a 1% fee.
Well, that's interesting because, of course, retail merchants are always trying to rub two nickels together to make a quarter, so they'll be very open to that kind of a situation.
Sure.
Now, merchants can also wait up to 3 days for the transactions to end up in their bank account. According to ZenaPay, they can make those transactions in the bank account almost instantly. What can you tell us about that?
Well, it's a lot of it has to do with the fact that the transactions occur immediately. Both the merchant and the buyer. These are very secure, encrypted payment platform that cannot be, there can't be any fraud, involved. So, and even with, if you look up cryptocurrencies more, once a transaction occurs, you could send money via cryptocurrency really to anybody in the world.
Right.
The transactions occur seamless. Once both sides agree on the payment and the receipt of the payment, it happens and it's a done deal.
Interesting. Now, there's also another big hassle for merchants that complain about this all the time, and that's a charge investigation, where someone makes a charge and later on maybe they get buyer's remorse in many cases, or they forgot they made that charge and an investigation occurs, and that can hold those funds sometimes up to months. ZenaPay basically solves that problem too.
Well, again, the cryptography and the magic of the big numbers makes it really impossible to break the scheme. Or a Bitcoin address is apparently more secure than Fort Knox. So and also we are talking about point of sale transactions. So if you're making an online purchase of a product, say on eBay, and you're waiting for delivery of that product, we're not talking about those kind of purchases. These are purchases are a system set up where the merchant already has the merchant app to accept Bitcoin, and ZenaPay offers a way for you to pay instantaneously using your cryptocurrency and your Bitcoin wallet app.
Now, I know that ePass is very proud of their development team. What can you tell us about the development team?
Well, let me just tell you, the team is formed with people that have worked with Fortune 500 companies, large banks, financial institutions. So they have a lot of knowledge about how transactional business is done and how much it costs and how much the banks make on float. So, and then more specifically, their experience in mission critical applications makes this whole thing work, and it allows the team to develop new and better applications.
This is kind of a new thing. Everybody's looking at Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. I mean, it's an exciting time to be alive with this whole situation unfolding as it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the company, we know that blockchain and cryptocurrencies are sort of the buzzwords, what everybody's looking at now, and it has gotten hot. But this company plans to be around for the long term. They've been around a while. They have customers. They have over 500 merchant customers already. They're transacting business and they're doing revenues.
Why is this a good time right now for people to take a closer look at ePass?
Well, what I was saying about how many have really been in the business over a longer period of time. In 2016, there were over 26,000 different blockchain apps and products available out there. It was reported in a CNBC article that only 8% of them, as of late last year, were still around. So anyway, the company wanted me to communicate that they are going to become audited. They're going to audit their 2017 financials, and they have already identified the firm to go ahead and get them ready to do that. I think that's important. Also, they're also working on smart legal contracts. The whole blockchain development and being able to identify the times when certain things have to occur in legal contracts. They make sure that happens.
ePass Incorporated, EPAZ is their stock symbol. Fascinating, Matt. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And joining us now on the phone is Mr. Greg Lambrecht. Greg is the CEO of a company called Single Point Incorporated. Their stock symbol is SING. Greg, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Don.
Well, the stock took a slight hit this week, Greg. Do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, well, I think that everybody knows that that Bitcoin has lost a lot of value, but our stock is took a slight hit from that, but it's coming back strong because the company is not buying and selling Bitcoin. We're allowing a platform where people can download coins to their wallet, whether they're Bitcoin or other coins out there. So we're really insulated from that. So that's the good news.
Is there any lingering effect from the Attorney General's recent comments?
No, not at all. In fact, we were quite pleased. our stock took a little bit of a hit, but bounced right back after a couple of days because, our narrative, and it always has been and is, that, we don't touch the plant. We're the pick and shovel of the cannabis business, specifically, allowing a payment platform at the dispensaries. So, we're a tech company. So I think both of these things shows you just how strong single point stock is, and also how, management has purposely positioned ourselves the way we have.
Well, I know it's an exciting time for the company. You're filming the Kevin Harrington commercial this week. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it really is. We're filming this Friday, the 19th, and already starting to plan on buying TV spots. So basically, we're going to allow customers, and we're going to show them how easy it is to download coins to their wallet, and then they'll be able to use that wallet to buy products, specifically cannabis. So very exciting.
Once again, Single Point Incorporated, SING. A great update, Greg. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you, and go sing.
Joined in studio now by two executives with Solar Integrated Roofing Corporation. Their stock symbol's SIRC. To my far left is Mr. Dave Savarese. He is the president of the company. David, always good to see you again.
Don, thanks for having me again.
And of course, the CEO, Dave Massey. Dave, a pleasure as always.
Hey, thank you. Happy to be here.
Now, you were talking with me about over the air about some goals that you have and some results in first quarter of this year. Why don't you tell us about that?
Something interesting is we had a sales meeting yesterday, and we were going over some numbers, and I'll get to the goals, but something I'd like to stress is some real-time facts. Our first quarter in our industry is usually the slowest quarter. Mm-hmm. January is always the worst month. Everyone's getting through the holidays, getting prepared for tax time. Our typical January is probably $200,000-$300,000 in the past over the last 30 years. Dave and I went through the numbers yesterday. We're almost at $700,000 in January. We're very possibly could go over $1 million in January, which we've never done. We have marketing that hasn't taken place. We've hired one salesman that's finally kicking in. We're really excited about the progress that we made. Dave, I think, has changed the synergy of the company, and the growth is just I'm really excited about.
Well, David, congratulations on that, by the way. Two of the biggest topics in the solar industry in the last couple of years have been solar storage, which we've talked about in this program before, and time of use. Can you tell us a little bit about each?
Yeah, so on the storage side, mostly batteries are actually being sold with every solar system now. And it's really being used to fight the time of use billing structure, and also what the utility companies are doing. So the batteries right now that are being sold with solar systems are really being used for what's called load shifting. And how time of use billing works is, rather than looking at how much electricity you're using, they're looking at when you're using that electricity, okay? So they're going to charge you different rates of off-peak and on-peak times. And the batteries are kind of our little combat tool, where it allows us to load shift when we're charging and discharging the batteries during those off-peak and on-peak times. So it is absolutely the way of the future. Storage is a huge play in the industry right now. We've partnered with a company called LG Chem, which is made by LG. They're going to be making our batteries. We've done some extensive trainings over the last couple of weeks, so we're excited to roll that product out here very shortly.
Now, I understand there's also recent changes and upgrades to the technology of solar panels. Tell us about that.
Well, the panels have become a lot more efficient over time. There's a natural degradation that happens in each panel, and they'll perform less over a time period.
Okay.
So they become more efficient over time. Their manufacturing processes have gotten much better, which allows for better output over the lifetime of the system.
Now, we had a little bit of a conversation before going on the air, and you mentioned there was some pretty big news about becoming a SunPower dealer. Tell us about SunPower and what this means to the company overall.
Yeah, so SunPower is a huge player in not only the residential but the commercial market. They have one of the highest efficiency residential solar panels in the industry. They also have a great racking system called Invisimount. Literally looks like the solar system is floating on the roof. So we're super excited to be joining them. We'll start selling them probably within the next month. Just signed up as a new dealer with them. I've worked with them in the past, established a relationship with them, and it's a nice, easy transition into a new product.
Now, Dave, this is amazing. I mean, you're aligning yourself with some pretty big names. We're talking about SunPower now, and we talked about Lowe's Home Improvement Centers a few weeks ago. I mean, this has got to be heady times for your company.
It really is. Something I'm also excited about with the storage side is with LG Chem is if you take a look at our package we offer to the homeowner, not only are we offering solar, they typically get a roof and now they get a storage package. Our average ticket going forward is going to be about $50,000 per home. Obviously it raises the revenue, raises the profits, so it makes that one-stop shop much, much better.
And yet with the financing programs that you have available at your disposal, a person can still basically show that the system pays for itself after, what, 5 or 6 or 7 years, something like that?
Yeah, if the homeowner wants to purchase the system outright, it's literally between a 4 and 6 year payback on the system. The internal rate of return is typically anywhere between 20 and 25% each year.
And the monthly payment, especially in Southern California, is almost close to, or maybe even sometimes a little bit less than what they were paying for electricity, correct?
That's absolutely right. So the financing partner that we have in place is called Energy Loan Network, and they're able to finance the roofing and the solar in one package.
Wow.
And your payment will be less. It will be less than what you're currently paying for the utility. No one likes buying a brand new roof, but if you can finance it into the actual solar package, it makes it a much easier purchase for them.
Sounds like an easy sales pitch to me. Once again, Solar Integrated Roofing Corporation, SIRC. Gentlemen, exciting update. Thanks so much.
Yep,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have you heard the news? There's only one flat-fee news distribution network on the market. It's called Access Wire, and it's exclusively from Issuer Direct. Any day, anytime, the Access Wire News Network can deliver your press release to more than 1,500 media outlets in 98 countries. Access Wire also delivers real-time engagement analytics. You will learn who read and shared your press release and more. Best news of all, getting started is easy. Visit accesswire.com and extend your company's news reach today.
We are back. Thanks for staying with us. I'm joined on the phone now by Mr. Riggs Eckelberry. Riggs is the CEO of a company called Origin Clear. Their stock symbol's OCLN. Riggs, you're calling us from the North American Bitcoin Conference in Miami. Tell us about it.
Yes. Well, Don, this is very exciting. I'm at the James L. Knight Convention Center in downtown Miami. I'm surrounded by the most amazing madness, which is this cryptocurrency world that we're all tumbling into, most of us much faster than we can possibly digest. But there's actually a very exciting, I'm very excited by the potential for this. Now, Don, before I go on, I must make it clear that I'm not representing that Origin Clear is doing coin offerings or anything of the sort. I don't want anybody to start trading OCLN on that basis. There is no assurance that we're doing anything of the kind. But it's very, very true that the world is coming to a water crisis, that by 2030, there will be 40% more demand for water than there is supply in the world, and that half of the world's communities will be in water-stressed areas. And so we have a real problem coming upon us, and the water industry is really having to step up to the challenge with dramatically better systems and process. And I think personally that this blockchain revolution holds some of the potential for solving this problem and helping the water industry really change the world and provide this fresh water.
And of course, Riggs, as you well know, and we've talked about this before, so much water is wasted in the world, and your technology helps solve that problem to a degree.
There's no question about it. It's a funny thing, but there is no country in the world outside of Israel that recycles more than 20% of its water. Israel recycles 80%. They're amazing. And you know how much the U.S. recycles is 1%. It's a dramatic amount of wastage throughout the world, and especially in the U.S., and that is going to change. Our technology is beautifully suited for cleaning water that otherwise is just not economically possible to be cleaned, like petroleum water, like landfill water, etc. We make it possible to reuse this water, which is critical.
Well, Riggs, we'll expect a nice report from you from the conference when you join us back in the studio here very soon. Again, Riggs Eckelberry, Origin Clear, OCLN. Riggs, thanks so much. Enjoy the conference.
My pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Joining us now direct from Las Vegas is Mr. Mark Bradley. Mark is the CEO of a company called Players Network. Their stock symbol's PNTV. Mark, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, and Happy New Year to you, Don.
Well, Mark, most cannabis-based companies seem to be unaffected by recent comments by the Attorney General. What's your take on the situation?
Look, knowledge is power. Right now, people are afraid. They don't really know what it meant that what Sessions suggested about bringing back the Coal Act. And the reality is that it's only a memorandum. It's not a law. It's not passed by Congress. And the reality is it's up to the states at the end of the day to enforce their own states. We're in a legal state, Nevada. There's 8 legal recreational states. There's 29 medical states. And the states aren't going to go back. They're not going to arrest people that are paying millions of dollars of taxes. And these companies are going to go on and they're going to thrive. The Coal Memorandum was really to look at people that are operating illegal, transporting across state lines, stuff like that. So it was a market reaction that was over a reaction. What it did is it got a chance for the, let's call it the not long-term investors, the people that are just flipping stock, to get scared and run away, and the real investors and the smart money went up and bought a bunch of cheap stock. And really, over the long run, our stock is going to be tremendous because of it. We have such a stronger base now because of this happened. So I look at it as a positive for us.
Well, now your marijuana accelerator has announced some new projects recently. What can you tell us about them?
Look, the Marijuana Accelerator is a great division, and we're always looking for new projects to work on. We have the Night Foods project, which has really given us the opportunity to build this brand within our facility in Greenleaf Farms. There's a lot of other announcements that'll be coming out of Marijuana Accelerator this year. I remember when we first announced that we were doing this, we got about 80 submissions from different companies, and it just has taken a long time to sift through these companies to find out which are the best ones for us to get involved with. We look at management, we look at the idea, is it good, is there a marketplace for it, and more than likely than anything is, can we help? Can we help this company grow? If we don't think we can help them grow and bring expertise, it may be a good idea, but we're going to tell them to go somewhere else and maybe suggest some other things they can do.
The company also announced a deal with Advent Corporation. What does that agreement mean for Players Network, Mark?
Okay, so this is really an interesting deal. Advent Corporation created this can, and they have this patented technology on the can where it's packaged, the air is sucked out of it, and the product in the can can actually stay good for 5 years. So I can open up this can 5 years later, pop the lid, and it'll be like we packaged the flour yesterday. No different than back in the days of, the Egyptians, when they open up the tombs, they find flowers that are still good after millions of years. I don't know if it's millions, maybe tens of thousands of years. So the same concept. So what we want to do is we want to bring this product to our Greenleaf Farm line. And imagine like the wine industry, how you can have a vintage, a beautiful grape that was 4 years old and this, and be able to now pop it open and have this fresh bottle of reserve wine. Now it's going to be the same way with the marijuana industry with this particular relationship that we'll be bringing to Nevada. So it's an exciting product. We think it'll give us an edge on the rest of the industry.
Well, Mark, why is 2018 a good year to be watching PNTV?
Well, you know what? We've been on a long runway here, and the plane's full, and we're about to take off. And if you're not on the plane right now, then you're going to have to go catch up with us. So, it's an exciting time. We've done a lot of really good work in 2017, from building our facility, building the technology platform under Weed TV, creating content, building a team, bringing on more management. I mean, it's going to be a great year. It's not like we're starting out, at the beginning of the year thinking we got all this stuff to do before we start making money. We're right on the cusp right now.
Once again, Players Network, PNTV is their stock symbol. Mark, exciting update. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Don. We'll hopefully talk to you soon.
And joining us now on the phone is Michael Markowski. He is a startup expert with Trophy Investing. Michael, welcome back to the program.
Hey, it's great to be back, Don. Great to be back.
Now, Michael, it was really interesting. We had you in studio last week talking about investing in startup companies with as little as $100. Can you tell us about that again, please?
Well, yeah, they're because of the Jobs Act, the SEC lifted the ban for investors to invest in private companies, that had been in place since 1933. And that ban, so that ban has been lifted. And now that enables anyone to purchase $100 worth of shares in a private company. I call them startups because that's what happens when you start a business. That's the best time to invest in the business to make the most returns on your money. So now anyone can invest in these startups. They can use a credit card, debit card. It's real simple. It's really easy. Anybody in the United States or any around the world. There's only two countries in which you can. I believe it's the UK and Canada that the citizens cannot invest in startups. But you can just go to, to MoneyTV.club, and there's all this information about this, how to invest in startups. And there's there's 2 or 3 startups on there, and there's a lot of content on there. But the key is that that if you'd invested $100 into Airbnb, you would have made $2 million as a startup. That's what the recent value was. $100, $2 million.
Amazing, just amazing. Now you've got a graphic for us to look at. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, well, this graphic shows actually there's 4 different startups on this graph. You can see that $100 into Airbnb was worth a couple of million. If you put $100 into Uber, we're talking almost $1.4 million. And of course, there's WhatsApp, and there is also Snapchat.
Wow.
So and you could have invested in these companies, Now, the interesting part is that all of these companies are really, the investments are less than 5 years old or so,
right.
in most of them, and you made this kind of money.
Now you've got a second graphic. We're almost out of time. Why don't you quickly run us through that?
Well, the key is I want everyone to understand there's still plenty of opportunities. There's going to be another 1.4 million apps that are going to hit the App Store by 2020. All those apps are going to be under development, or they're already under development. And so there's plenty of opportunities for people to build a diversified portfolio at $100 a piece. And all it takes is one to win the lottery.
Once again, Trophy Investing. For more information, visit the website moneytv.club. Michael, fascinating. Looking forward to more information from you. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, thanks, Don. Bye-bye.
We're going to talk about the mouth that roared, or Trumpisms, on this week's Money Wrap radio program. To find a radio station near you, to listen online, go to our website, moneywrap.com. Call us right now, toll-free from anywhere in the world, 888-259-4449, to receive free information about our featured guests. When you do call, be sure and ask to be added to the subscription list of our Money TV newsletter. It is free, as is a toll-free call from anywhere in the world, 888-259-4449. Visit us at moneytv.net. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. That's our program this week. As always, we'll be back next week. Thanks so much for joining us.